What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another fun episode of Tailgate in the Quad. No rant this week. Alabama did not piss me off to no end, and not many people did, but the AP poll is ridiculous. We're going to be talking about that and voters not watching the games. NCAA finally instituting a transfer portal window. Just one, but they picked the worst possible time to do it. So group of five is potentially making the CFP. More than one? Who knows? We're going over our bets from last week, picking some new bets this week, and a shit ton more going on in the sport. So stick around and let's hit that music.
They're eating the dogs, Ciarnan, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
you
dogs.
know that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I've wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan.
As always, I am back with my lovely co-host, Ciarnan. Ciarnan, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, man. And how are you? Happy birthday. Albeit belated on this podcast, but still.
You did text me on my actual birthday. My birthday was Monday.
Woo!
I'm staring down the barrel of 30, and my stomach loves to remind me of that fact.
He's gone. He's gone, ladies and gentlemen. He's gone. We're never going to see him again.
No, just need Tums at all times. That's the super fun part about being old.
Tell me, Kev, does your back or knee hurt?
My knees have hurt for 15 years now.
Oh, that's great.
A long line of bad knees.
Okay.
Partially because I come from a long line of overweight people. I'm carrying that banner proudly. But, my dad's had a bunch of knee surgeries. My grandfather probably should have had a bunch of knee surgeries. So playing soccer year-round also did not help the situation. So, yeah, I got bad knees, Ciarnan. My back still holding strong, though.
Surely the years of soccer would have helped you, not hinder you.
Not if you play year-round.
I suppose so.
Overuse destroyed my knees. And also, the fact... All right, before we even get into the show...
Here we go. He said no rant. We're doing a rant.
I had one coach tell my dad, Kevin might be able to play D3. And then I got concussions. That was out the window. But and I'm not saying it's child abuse or anything. I'm not blaming my parents. I wanted to do it. Playing one sport year round, if you are not, even if you are going to go D1 or pro, is insane for a child. And I was a teenager. I was not a child, but it just year round, summer league, winter league, club in the spring, you had high school in the fall. The fact that I've only had 5 concussions is a miracle unto God. I think that's the trade-off. My mom left, but he only gave me 5 concussions. So
hold on. So if she stayed, would you have more or less?
More.
Okay. So it is actually a good thing.
So it had to even itself out. That makes it sound like my mom hit me. No, but there's a picture that my mom posted on Facebook for some reason. I had a concussion, and we knew each other by this point, Ciarnan, because it was freshman year of high school. I had a big goose egg right here on my forehead.
Yes, I remember that.
That drained into my eye, so it gave me a black eye. A concussion basically knocked me out of anything physical for 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm dying on the couch after coming home from the doctor. And mom's like, Kevin, look at me. And took a picture and posted on Facebook.
What?
Insanity.
Oh.
But I So there's three things I was told to clean up this show. Cut down on the swearing. I swore within the first 30 seconds. I don't know how YouTube's going to feel about that. Stop bringing up my mother.
And you failed at both. So
The third thing we're still going strong at, shockingly. I'm not going to repeat the third thing because that's what I was explicitly told. Do not mention.
okay.
But shout out my mom, I guess. Didn't wish me happy birthday. Okay, we're going to move on to some college football before I just treat this as my therapy session. BetterHelp really needs to sponsor us.
I'm all ears, Kev.
BetterHelp should sponsor us. If anyone has a connection to BetterHelp, the DMs are open. I will be a shill for big psychology, or big therapy, whichever. But Ciarnan, per Ross Dellinger, he tweeted out earlier today, the NCAA Football Oversight Committee voted today to support a single transfer portal window in January. Sources tell Yahoo Sports, ushering in a significant change. The administrative committee still needs to formally adopt the change later. The 10-day window is expected to open January 2nd.
You were so close.
So close.
I mean, it's one of those things that you're almost proud of them for getting to that step, and you just wish if they had any more consideration that they just make that final adjustment that they need to make the thing correct. Oh, it's heartbreaking.
They are so close to the right decision on a few things. This is not new. And then they just muck it up at the end. For those who are curious, that starting point will be the day after the Capital One Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl. About 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks before the national championship. So some guy will just have the game of his life in one of those bowl games, one of those New Year's Six bowl games. Teams getting ready for the semifinals, and then they're going to go, you know what? I'm going to transfer. Bye. Have fun. Why not just make it the 19th?
I can't. I can't understand it. I've lost all willingness to give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. To just say it's so inconsequential. It's so inconsequential. Do you know why? Because nobody's doing work after that kind of Christmas, New Year's break. Nobody's doing any work in come January, right? Because I sure as hell don't. Just move it ever so slightly backwards, and then you've nailed it. You've done everything that all the fans want. You've got the transfer portal that the students want. You have the ability to play in big national championship games and shoot your stock price through the roof. All of these things. And there's just 17 days between when it is happening and when it should happen. Ugh.
It's insane. I also think 10 days is way too short.
You know what, Kev? I'm willing to give them the 10 days. I'm willing to give them to 10 days if they move it to the 19th. That's it. I will take 10 days.
That's true. I think move it to I misspoke. I think it's the 20th, the day after the Natty.
Okay,
move it to the
whatever.
20th. It runs until the last day of February. You get a full month. And then, spring break starting up. So you can have guys decide where they're going to go, then go enjoy their spring break. And then focus on getting ready for spring practices and then summer and then the next season. Give them a month to make this life-altering decision. And then, because you're giving them the whole month, clamp down on tampering. Like, I understand with the 10 days, you're basically saying, yeah, we know tampering's happening. We know these schools are reaching out to the kids, potentially going into the portal and pitching them. So make it the 20th, make it a month, and you would have nailed it. Instead, you're making it 10 days in the middle of the playoffs.
What do we have to do to these people? Like, what needs to go through their head to make
Show
this
up at their house with hammers.
Okay, do not, for any of our listeners or viewers, do not do that. Kev was merely being euphemistic about his detestment at the current playoff committee.
Yeah, do not show up at Eddiewood's houses with hammers.
Please do not.
Or a singular hammer. Or anything.
Don't show up.
Write a
strongly worded letters.
Leave these people alone. Not even a letter, an email. Write them a strongly worded email. Do not do anything involving their address. Reminder, we are not legal experts. Neither of us are lawyers. So the best way to avoid getting a restraining order or arrested for trespassing is just leave these people alone. Don't go to their house.
But I hope they listen to this. So write them a strongly worded email telling them to listen to us because we know what the people want.
And we have their best interest in mind.
Yes.
Because we're telling people not to show up at their residence or their work. Just leave them alone.
Correct.
Speaking of bad decisions, though, Kieran.
Yes.
I didn't know how to segue off that.
No, that's perfect.
The Big 12 made a really good one.
Yes.
For those who did not see, there was some drama in the Kansas-Missouri game last week where Kansas was just awarded a punt instead of a kickoff. There was a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. The Jayhawks blocked Missouri's extra point kick, and then they were given a punt. They were allowed to punt the ball on the ensuing kickoff instead of kick, which is prohibited under NCAA Football Rule 2, Section 16, Article 6. The Big 12 decided to remove them from their next game, did not specify which game it would be, but it was going to be Friday, which puts it at either Colorado at Houston and Kansas State at Arizona. Ciarnan, do we like seeing a public admonishment from the Big 12 in this situation?
Yes, 100%. 100%. They made the wrong call. It was in clear violation of a rule that they should know. And good. I'm glad that, an organization, a conference is taking at least a partial stand against incorrect calls. Because I think everyone from the degenerate sports bettor to the casual fan has gone, well, that's clearly the wrong call. I'm seeing it on a TV and it's blatant. And even if this is a minor infraction, which, frankly, it is, it's good to see that conferences are at least taking some charge of making sure their games are played by the correct set of rules.
I do think it is relatively minor, but it's a little more major than missing a hold.
I'm not talking about that.
Not knowing the rules. So I think this is the right move. I think if there's an egregious and a lot of them of just missed calls, then you tell them, hey, clean it up, and they have to keep doing it. Then you publicly admonish them. But my question is, if the Big 12 is doing this, I think baseball should turn to executions. Public ones.
For bad umpires.
Yeah, just bad umpires.
That's kind of true. It's kind of true.
But I do think this should be the standard for what any sports league does. They should make an announcement. Hey, they messed up, so we are take them off their next game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's admittedly, I've probably been reading too many stories about soccer refs in Brazil messing up, but it's for the refs' own sake. It keeps them safe. But also, it's just, I don't like saying the integrity of the game, but it's the integrity of the game. Mm-hmm. If someone who's supposed to be administering the rules, not knowing the rules, you can't have that. It's like a Supreme Court justice having no idea about any laws in America.
Yeah, you're put the nail on the head type situation. Like it's one of those things that I think it's also a really easy one to be public about because it is a mistake, whether you consider it egregious or minor or whatever. It's a mistake, and to have them just come out and say, "Yep, mistakes were made." Perpetrators, if you want to call them that, punished through this game suspension or missing games, and then move on. Right now we're done. Now they're not going to make that call again, and the games are going to go more smoothly. How much that really affected the game is almost completely irrelevant, but it's one of those things. It's like mistake, punishment, sorted, done, and now we can just move on. We don't have to. This isn't going to become a topic, week in and week out type thing. So it's kind of nice to see that.
Completely agree. But speaking of mistakes, Kieran, everyone's messing up.
Yes.
Florida appears to have messed up in their coach's contract. For those who do not see, Billy Napier, people are calling for Billy Napier's job after he lost to the University of South Florida. It's not, though. They've been doing it for the past year. They did it last year. Then he put DJ Lagway in, and then they sort of calmed down because Lagway did really well. He's probably saved Napier's job. And now that he's lost to South Florida, it's back on. But when writing this contract, in modern contracts in college football, coach buyouts are offset by their next job if they stay within the sport. So if Billy Napier was fired, went to the NFL as a offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, whatever salary that is would offset the buyout. So if it's $30 million, he would get a $5 million salary in the NFL. The buyout's really $25 million. The school doesn't pay that $5 million. Except his contract does not have that. Billy Napier's contract is $20.4 million, half of it due in the first 30 days, and then they have to pay the rest. So no offset, which has to be a gross oversight from the school.
Seriously, I mean, we have seen in very recent years that these big contract coaches are, signing this huge thing. There's a huge amount of excitement behind them, and then they absolutely completely shit the bed, as it were, and they're stuck in this situation where they're paying 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars to these coaches that are just going to ride that out for however long they can. And now you're getting an instance where, if Mike Norvell was fired at the end of last year, that would be a massive buyout, don't get me wrong, but I think Mike Norvell would get another coaching position. Now, would it do anything to put a dent in that gargantuan salary? No, probably not. But for smaller schools that don't have that same sort of budget, it would make a massive difference.
Yes, and I think schools have learned their lesson. I think Billy Napier's sort of that last vestige of contract signed where schools didn't think about these consequences. He was signed in 2022. But if it was a Kirby Smart, a Nick Saban, a guy who you're getting results at their school, and you gave them a massive contract, no offsets, nothing like that, I could see it. You hired a coach from Louisiana Raging Cajuns, from Lafayette. That was his only head coaching experience, and he did well there. Don't get me wrong, first or tied for first in their division in the Sun Belt while he was there, high of 15 in the AP poll while he was there, 2 conference titles. So he had success in Lafayette, but that is a group of 5 program going to the Florida Gators, a school that knows a thing or two about winning national titles, especially recently 17 years ago, but still they have that expectation. Giving him this massive contract without any offsets really was a mistake. I hope the Florida athletic director has since been fired since that contract was signed. I'm not sure. I'm looking it up quickly now. Scott Strickland, he was not. He is still there. He was hired in 2016, and he is still the athletic director. If they have to fire Billy Napier, they should also fire Strickland. Not because Napier wasn't a good coach. You do what you can. You get a guy you think will work. But because of how poorly that contract was set up, not having these offsets, it put no protection in place for the University of Florida.
Yeah. I mean, again, nailed it. It's one of those things that, yes, don't get us wrong. It was a gamble to take Napier. I mean, he proved himself. He did that. There's no doubt about it. But it's one of those things that you almost want them to start out at a school like Louisiana and then move up into a, not a group of five, because technically it's all a group of five, but like a lower tiered team. I want to say, sounds bad, but like Arkansas, like if they moved to Arkansas and he did really well there, then Florida can go ahead and take a gamble on him. You know, like if he moved Arkansas up to the top five, I'd say, yeah, that's now a good investment, right? He clearly can't win there, but if he has our resources, then he can. So it's one of those things, like, you need. I love the confidence of the coach, but you need to actually have the resume to back that up.
Yeah, and I think I don't disagree with you, Florida does not need to be pillaging the group of five for their next coach. They just don't. That is not something the University of Florida needs to do. They have the money. They have the alumni base. They have the support for the football program to go out and get most coaches they want. I don't want to say any, because Florida fans are insane. They're like, oh, here's who I want. Marcus Freeman, Dan Lanning. Well, they're not leaving their schools, so let's pump the brakes. But other Power 5 schools, you can get someone from those schools. You are the University of Florida. But if they wanted to try and get a young guy who has coached in some impressive places, not as a head coach, but has been a coordinator, has been a position coach, but only head coach of Group 5, put in some protection for the university.
Yeah, it is. It is wild that they forgot that. That's insane.
Yeah, no, it's not great, Ciarnan, but Florida is rightfully out of the top 25 on the actual AP poll, and for most voters, but not all of them, Ciarnan. The AP poll is ridiculous, not the AP poll. Some AP voters are ridiculous, such as Haley Sawyer, whose poll came out. She had Florida still ranked above the University of South Florida. She also had Arizona State ranked at all, and Mississippi State unranked. She had some real bad ones. She still had Alabama at like 11 before this weekend, and then she moved them down to 17 after they beat up on Louisiana Monroe. And look, I don't think FCS and low-level Group of 5 games should really impact your poll standing. You should not be moving up crazy high because you beat up on Louisiana Monroe. That'd be insane. But you shouldn't be dropping 6 spots for beating up on Louisiana Monroe. If you struggle against them, yeah. But it's insane. And she had a defense of her poll, Ciarnan, because they do release the AP poll, what each poll voter has. And here's what she said about it.
But as far as what my votes are and what my process is, I wake up early in the morning after covering a game late in the night before. Don't want to go too much into my progress or process or logic, but I will say I appreciate everybody's interaction on social media and all of your feedback. There's tons of people that vote on the AP poll, and it's not a perfect system, but at the end of the day, no matter who you pick, it does even out because there's so many people who vote. And like I said, it's really fun for discussion. It doesn't, probably matter in the end, but I'm glad that people are having a really good time with it.
It very clearly does matter, by the way. I mean, look, the AP poll after week 2, probably not. But to say the AP poll doesn't matter, no, that impacts the College Football Playoff Committee's perception of these teams. If a team's ranked highly all year, whether intentionally or unintentionally, they will look at that and go, well, they've been ranked all year. They must be good. We might be missing something. So saying it doesn't matter is insane. But also, on top of that, well, a lot of people voted on it. Okay, your vote still matters. This is not, you are not a citizen of California with the electoral votes of that state, where your vote really doesn't matter if you don't go to the polls. Your vote matters more than that. So you should at least maybe try to do your effing job right. They just clearly don't watch the games. And this is a common issue with the AP poll. I don't love the AP poll. I would much rather just, if you want to keep the college football playoff, that's fine. Just put the BCS poll in throughout the season.
Yeah, agreed. I can't. there is something to be said about you creating your list and your lineup how you like it. I 100% understand that. Yes, there will be talking points. Maybe you ranked Alabama one too high after the UL Monroe win. Maybe you rank US. You don't rank USF at all. Maybe you could do a litany of things that would cause discussions or talking points. If your poll is one of the most recognized instances of college football ranking, you don't get to vote and then say, I don't want to go into it too much, my process or logic. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That is the simple fact of the matter. If people question you, you have to be able to say, well, it is because of these X factors. However many they are, what they are, doesn't matter. But you have to be able to back up your claim. You can't just go and say like, oh yeah, this is my lineup because I like the colors of this school the most. That's not how this works. There are legitimate contenders for a CFP national championship. The expanded national championship makes it even worse because that number 15 is eyeing a number 12, and they might get in there if they get some lucky losses of other teams or win their conference championship or whatever the case may be. So you can't sit there and say like, oh, it doesn't matter in the end. It absolutely does. Every group of 5 school is probably clambering up the ladder or chomping at the bit to get into a top 25 spot to push their rankings higher, which means they get more TV deals, which means they have a higher chance of the playoffs, which means they get better recognition on draft day when this all comes to the end of it, right? So you don't get to parade around like, oh, it's all just fun. No, it's deadly serious, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we're not just piling on to Haley.
No,
she had the courage to actually do an interview and defend her pick. Whether or not we think she defended it well and had a justifiable reason, that's not the issue. But also, other people, Koki Riley, an LSU football person for NOLA.com, had Florida ranked 5 spots ahead of USF, had Alabama, still has Alabama, 2 spots ahead of FSU. And Arizona State is ranked while Mississippi State is not. Then you also have Chad Bishop, who had Notre Dame from unranked to number 8 after a bye. Didn't have Florida State on last week's ballot and dropped Ole Miss from 19 to unranked with an SEC road win. So I think it's too much to ask AP poll voters to watch the games. Honestly, at this point, they're not going to do that. Can you at least look at the scores?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's highlight videos. There's highlight videos almost the day after, right? So
there's highlight videos after the game, during the game.
Just watch 2 minutes of each game. And you can either say, yeah, this team was really good because I liked their offense or I liked their defense, and justify it that way. That's perfectly fine. It takes almost no time at all. You absolutely have more than one screen in your household where you can put up 2 games at once. Watch 2 noon games, 2 3:30 games, and 2 7:30 games. They exist. Okay. After that, you can make your picks, right? Because then you can just watch little views on your phone. You just go, oh yeah, they did really well in this game. Oh, they blew them out 42-3. Like all of those are objectifiable numbers that you can base your pick on.
I don't even need objectifiable numbers, Ciarnan, at this point. I just need
pure vibes.
This number that this team scored is higher than this number that team scored. Okay, so that team's better. That's all I want, and they're not even doing that. Also, you said you can watch 2 games at once. No, Ciarnan. Get YouTube TV. You can get the quad box. Watch 4 at once. Get a second screen, Ciarnan. You can watch 8 games at once. Just let college football consume you. You don't consume it. It consumes you. Yeah. And then it'll spit you out. And then you put out your AP poll votes.
You go into the matrix.
Pretty much. That's the dream. But, Ciarnan, after we just shit on these people for how they did, we're going to go through what the final AP poll spit out for week 2. Others receiving votes, Arizona State at 94, BYU with 92, Georgia Tech with 78, Florida with 70, USC with 64, TCU 58, Mississippi State 52, Louisville 49, SMU 26, Nebraska 10, Tulane 9, Baylor 7, UNLV 5, Pittsburgh 3, Navy 2, Memphis and Vanderbilt both at 1. Ciarnan, thoughts on the others receiving votes?
No, frankly, I think that it's a solid. I think we're kind of whittling down already. Geez, I can't believe I'm saying that week 2. But I think the good teams are really showing us that they can play, and I think it's one of those things that I think you might have a season where the bottom 5 really flip around quite a lot, like more so than usual.
Yeah, and I think this also might have been the concern with Arizona State this year.
Yeah.
Can they keep that sustained success going? The fact they're still receiving 94 votes is kind of crazy. You're not far enough into the season where a loss to Mississippi State can still be justified. Like if Arizona State was running through everyone or winning most games, and then they lost to Mississippi State, you could say, okay, so yeah, it sucks, but you've still been one of the best 25 teams. We'll keep you in. At this point, that should have dropped them out. I'm not saying to a point where they can't recover from, but getting 94 votes still is insane.
Yeah, I find it wild that Mississippi State, like, the fans charged the field and took down the goalposts. It's like, okay, guys, I mean, you're an SEC school. Like, surely you've been here before. You're beating Arizona State. They're not exactly a powerhouse.
Have they been there before?
No,
it is Mississippi
no, hold on.
State.
No, hold on. In fairness, I think Mississippi State in the SEC, they have won enough quote unquote big games or against a rival or something where they don't need to be charging the field against ASU. If ASU were to beat Alabama or Georgia, yeah, okay, that makes sense, right? But like, I don't know. I just feel like the SEC and the SEC and Arizona, or excuse me, and the Big 12 or whatever have varying levels of competitiveness that I think Mississippi State fans should at least be used to. So that's why I think that they shouldn't be storming the field against ASU.
Okay, that's fair. I'm more thinking not of the conference, but of the team within the conference. So, but that's fair. All right, moving on to the actual teams that are ranked. First up, you have Missouri and Auburn sneaking into the rankings at 25 and 24. You have Michigan dropping 8 spots to number 23 after their loss to Oklahoma. Indiana moves up 1 to 22. Texas Tech moves up 3 to 21, and Utah moves up 5 to number 20. Ciarnan, what are your thoughts on the bottom 6?
My thoughts for, at the very least, Michigan. Other than that, I think it's pretty much okay. I'm surprised to see Auburn doing that well, especially after we battered them in the offseason talking about them. Mizzou kind of keeping up that pace that they had at the end of last year, so that's nice to see. Indiana, I mean, fair, Kurt. Like, you're winning, but let's see how that plays out.
Texas, they better be ranked.
Yeah, exactly. Texas Tech and Utah don't really have any strong opinions one way or the other. Good wins. Nothing to complain about, really.
That's fair. Also, in Auburn, or in the polls defense for putting Auburn here, they're not going to be here that long. They beat up on Ball State and Baylor.
Yeah.
Baylor did have a good win against SMU this past week.
That's true.
It is Baylor. Nobody really expects a lot from them yet. Texas Tech, Utah, you love to see it. Happy for him. Indiana, I hate Kurt Signetti still. But yeah, no, with that schedule, they should definitely be ranked. If they weren't, that'd be embarrassing. Next up, number 19, the University of Alabama. Number 18, University of South Florida. Number 17, Ole Miss, moving up 3 spots, number 17. Texas A&M moving up 3 to 16, and Tennessee moving up 7 spots to number 15. What did Alabama do to move up to? Look, I understand Ty Simpson did not throw an incompletion. The team looked different. They looked motivated. They were playing Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah.
I said if they let them score a point, I would lose my mind and call for Kalen DeBoer's job. So I'm going to try to stay calm this week and not waste 10 minutes of Ciarnan's time screaming into the void. But why are they moving up 2 spots? What have they done against Louisiana Monroe that we didn't expect them to do?
I don't know. I literally don't have an answer for you.
It's insane.
It is. It is kind of insane. But shout out USF. Well done. 2 big wins. I mean, I don't care who you are as a college football fan. That was fun to watch.
Yeah. No,
except Florida fans, of course.
Yeah, that's fine. South Florida is one of those sneaky good teams there. I don't know if they're going to go on this crazy run, but they're never going to be a team that gets blown out. It feels they're always going to be competitive.
Yeah, that's so true.
Also, I guess shout out Lane and Texas A&M. Not Tennessee. I hate you. But any other thoughts, Ciarnan?
No, I think we can move on.
All right. And next up, you have Iowa State moving up 2 spots to 14. Oklahoma moving up 5 spots to number 13 after beating Michigan. You have Clemson moving down 4 spots to number 12. And you have South Carolina moving down 1 spot to number 11. No real thoughts here. I mean, Clemson really struggled this week. But the fact they only dropped 4 is probably lucky on their part, and also just kind of they've been good recently, so we'll forgive them for being down 16-3 at halftime against Troy.
Yeah, that I was legitimately hoping Troy would win that game. That was that last quarter where they kind of fell apart. It was so sad. But the disrespect, Kevin, the disrespect on Iowa State, the only 3-0 undefeated team. Nobody else is up there. No one. I can't believe they're not ranked higher.
That's true. I mean, I'm always big on Iowa State.
Yes.
Big on the clones. Also, it's the South Carolina, the Cox disrespect.
Yes. You don't win and go down. You win and stay neutral.
Unless you really struggle against an FCS school. But, I mean, they were down 3-0 after the first quarter, and then they won 38-10. I think moving them down 1 spot is a little bit of an overreaction, but it's early in the season, so there's a lot of overreactions. And if anyone's thinking, really, that's kind of hypocritical coming from you, Kevin, talking about overreactions. No, see, I know an overreaction because I have them all the time. I am the perfect person to point out that's an overreaction.
You are, actually.
Exactly. Then, moving into the top 10, you have Florida State moving up 4 spots to number 10. Illinois moving up 2 spots to number 9. The first time they've been ranked top 10 in a while, and I called it when they hired Brett Bielema. I want credit for that. Notre Dame moving up 1 spot to number 8 after a bye week. Texas staying put. Georgia dropping 2 spots to number 6. Everyone else really staying put except Oregon moved up 2 spots to number 4. Ciarnan, any thoughts on the top 10?
Notre Dame on the bye week moving up a spot? What?
And this is why I hate the AP poll.
What?
Like, they have played 1 game all season, and they lost, and they're ranked top 10.
You don't. Oh, God, what is this world? I don't even think it's not even that they don't watch it anymore. They're just, the AP poll people are just told, like, they hear conversations off to their side, and it's just a bunch of old Notre Dame alumni that are saying, like, oh yeah, we look really good this year. And then they're like, oh, okay, put them at 8. I don't know. I've never seen them play. Like, that's what it feels like. How do you go up a spot after losing a game and then having a bye week? That doesn't make any sense.
If Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Oregon, Miami, Georgia, Texas all lost while Notre Dame was on a bye and they moved up one, okay.
Fine.
I
Whatever.
guess.
Yeah, sure.
But they did not all lose. None of them lost this week. So to move Notre Dame up one is insane. Illinois should have jumped them.
I hate it here, Kev. I hate it here. Can we go home?
We can go home, or we can just move on to the next topic.
All right, fine.
It's time, Ciarnan, for everyone's favorite segment, the Panic Meter, where we're going to look at some schools and decide, is it time to panic? We've gone over Alabama before. We're not going over them this week because I'm not that doom and gloom to say they should still panic. But first up on the Panic Meter is Clemson. They did win 27-16, but they were playing Troy and were down 16-3 at halftime. Like we said, Ciarnan, is it time for the Tiger faithful to panic?
I would say not quite yet. I think it's one of those instances where they kind of just had a bad game early in the season, and I'm willing to kind of forgive them for that. I think if this trend continues and they're either losing games and or they play the next one close, I would start to say, all right, now it's time to seriously panic and maybe consider fire Dabo. So
that's fair. I think it is time to panic, Ciarnan. They have not finished the season ranked in a position to make the playoffs without the expansion since 2020, when Brent Venables left after that season to go. Nope, I'm sorry, he was there the year after. But that was near the end of the Brent Venables, Tony Elliott time at Clemson. Clemson has not really done a good job replacing them. They've gone downhill, it seems, a lot. They did make the playoffs last year, immediately bounced by Texas, lost the Orange Bowl a couple years ago to Tennessee. I think it's time for Clemson fans to panic. I think Dabo and his anti-NIL stance really is starting to wear on people, and I think it's time to start thinking about asking your fans to start digging quarters out of their couches to fire Dabo and pay that buyout.
How much is his buyout?
It's probably a shit ton. That's something I probably should have been prepared for. $60 million.
Oof. That's rough. I mean, I get it, but it's rough.
That's as of last December.
Yeah, that's close enough to get a metric on it.
Yeah. So $60 million buyout for Dabo. All right, Ciarnan, next up, Arizona State after their loss to Mississippi State. Is it time for Kenny Dillingham and co. to panic?
Based on how Mississippi State fans reacted, yeah, I would say probably time to panic. But in all seriousness, no, I don't think that loss was really that bad. I think that there can be certain things that are improved upon. But again, it's not really a state where they it's kind of a lose-lose, because if you start to panic and you make rash decisions like firing your head coach, you've just thrown away all of that good work that he's done over the past few years. I would say try and ride out this little storm here and make it and kind of be willing to accept a couple of maybe a bad season. Maybe just be willing to accept that bad season so that when it comes time that the kind of the loyalty and the new guys coming in can fill the reserves and kind of make that 2024 season happen again. So I don't think it's time to panic at all.
I don't disagree. I do think it's time to panic in the sense they don't have their guy. Last year, they had Cam Scatabo, who was the heart and soul of that Sun Devils team. They need to find the guy. It's not a panic thing. They just need to get
they need
someone who
another
can
Cam
motivate the
Scatabo,
team. Yeah. All right. So far, you have a nope, don't panic. I have a panic, and then on Arizona State, it's really just two don't panic yet. Florida, after their loss to the South Florida Bulls this past week, Ciarnan, is it time for the Florida Gators to panic?
Yeah, I mean, based on what we were talking about earlier, I would say, yeah, probably time to panic. I mean, Billy Napier needs to step up and really hit the rest of the season guns blazing. I would say, kind of throw caution to the wind. If you've been practicing any trick plays, break them out, because frankly, I think both the AD and the rest of the fans need to know that what you can deliver is what was promised. So yeah, panic.
I agree. I think, especially with that no offsetting buyouts,
Yeah.
it's really time to panic. You shot yourselves in the foot, and it's brutal. Next up, Michigan Wolverines. They lost to Oklahoma this past week at Oklahoma, but I still think it's time to panic, Ciarnan, because their shiny new toy Bryce Underwood did not look good. 9 for 24 for 142 yards, 40.2 QBR. The ground game was good with Justice Haynes and whole lot of nothing outside of that. I don't think it's time to panic, like fire, bench people, but I think it's time to get ready for some lean games early on in the year until Bryce Underwood gets his legs under him, and look for next year. Find those guys who are going to be with the program, who you can lean on to not make your team an embarrassment, but to kind of keep your eye on the future. That's what this year will be for Michigan.
Yeah, I think I think it's more of a blip panic than a full panic. I think that with Bryce Underwood and the rest of the running game, I actually think that Michigan could probably see out at least half the season just relying on their running game with maybe short passes to the sidelines or something like that. Whether it's Bryce Underwood failing to read coverages is, I don't think 2 games in is yet to be seen really. But if that becomes apparent down the line, I think you can fall on your run game to really make things happen. And if you need to be a run heavy offense, so be it. Like, if it works, it works. I mean, Bryce Underwood is no pushover. If he needs to drop his shoulder and run over a DB, he probably can. So trust him with his legs at the very least.
That's fair. It's true. Next up, I mean, this is the last one for this week, and this one might be, some people are going to think it's crazy to bring it up. Georgia. They did struggle a little bit against Austin Peay this week, winning 28-6. But you are the number 4 team in the country. You are the Georgia Bulldogs. You should be beating Austin Peay by more, Ciarnan. But should they be panicking yet?
No, they shouldn't be panicking. I think this was a classic case of overconfidence. It was like, oh yeah, we're just going to go beat up a smaller school, and they're like, oh crap, these smaller school has hands. Like, we actually have to lock in here. So it's one of those things. I think it's that early season slap in the face that probably a lot of players needed. Going, okay, we can't just think we're invincible. We got to actually participate in this football game. So I don't think you need to panic.
That's true. I do think you need to keep an eye on it just to make sure. But this is sort of what Georgia has done the last few years. Last year, they started slow against UMass. 2 years ago, when they ran the table and won a national title, they beat Kent State by 17. And this was before Kent State was abysmal. They did go 5-7 that year, but you should be beating them by more than 17. They went to Columbia, Missouri, won by 4. So it's just something they kind of do. And eventually they clean it up as the season goes on. So not quite time to panic yet for the Bulldogs, but something to keep an eye on. Next up, Ciarnan, you want to go over our bets from last week?
Let's do it.
We did really well, Ciarnan.
Let's go.
We did so well. For those who don't Remember, I had Alabama minus 36.5 versus Louisiana Monroe. I had Iowa State over Iowa, and I had over 1.5 field goals in Stanford versus BYU in the first half. Ciarnan had Illinois over Duke as his money line. Syracuse versus UConn as his spread with Syracuse minus 6.5. And NC State over 27.5 points versus Virginia. And by God, Ciarnan, we went 6 for 6.
Let's go. I think that's the first time ever, surely.
I think we've had times where one of us would get them all right.
Yes.
Usually you, to be honest. But I think it's the first time we both got them all right. And if you also go to college, the Belly Up Sports pick for their personalities, I picked Oklahoma, Missouri, and Iowa State in that. So really, we went 9 for 9 here.
Let's go. Oh my God. Just talk about what a birthday gift. Jesus.
It killed it. We did
That's
so
awesome,
well.
dude.
I am proud of us.
I am more pumped right now than I have been in a while. That's actually awesome.
I'm very, very proud of us. And now let's watch us not go. Let's try not to go 0 for 6 this week, Ciarnan.
Seriously.
I think I've learned from my mistakes in the past. Before, I would just kind of try to make ridiculous picks, but now with picking my own games or for each of us instead of me just picking one for the show,
right.
I think it's working. I think it's going well. So let's get into this week's picks, Ciarnan.
All right.
For my money line for week 3, I have Georgia over Tennessee at minus 175.
All right.
Sorry, go on. I was going to ask what you got.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So for my money line, I have West Virginia over Pittsburgh at plus 225. Calling it.
I don't hate it. What do you have for your spread?
For my spread, I have UConn to cover the spread against Delaware at minus 115. The spread is minus 10, plus or minus 10.
Okay. I have USF plus 17.5 versus Miami. Like I said, USF, they're going to be that team that always sticks around. They're always going to be competitive. Not always, but for this year. So I think they will easily cover versus Miami. And even if they're not late in the game, who knows? Mario Cristobal might refuse to kneel the ball out and they'll walk away with a touchdown, maybe 3 points, get within that spread. So give me the Bulls plus 17.5. My miscellaneous. I have Oregon over 42.5 points at plus 60 against Northwestern. That is free. It's free real estate.
Yeah, that is free real estate.
It's Northwestern.
Yeah, that's free. That's a good.
It's early in the year. Oregon's not gonna mess it up.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. For my miscellaneous pick, I'm going NC State versus Wake Forest. I'm going a first drive NC State result, and it's going to be a field goal attempt at plus 428. Really wild and out here. No, it's good.
I have to write it down.
Yeah.
Sorry for the silence to our podcast listeners. I have to write this down. But also, if you're listening on the podcast, why not also watch the YouTube? You can do both. You can give us a view in both places. Also, while you're here, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Maybe not your mother. She might judge you. But anyone else. Have fun with it. And also check out some more shows on the Belly of Sports Podcast Network. They are lovely enough to let us spout our ridiculousness on their airwaves, and we appreciate it. But Ciarnan, before we didn't do your weather report.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
No, Ciarnan, I look forward to it every week.
All right.
I got too excited for going 9 for 9.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I think that's an acceptable reason to mess it up. Weather report this weekend from basically 12 a.m. to 12 a.m., however you want to look at it. Basically, it's like 3 large streams of rain happening. So you've got stuff on the West Coast up by Oregon, Washington area. So is Oregon home or away?
I think they're away.
Actually, it won't matter because the second stream in Northwestern is right down the middle of the country. So anything if Minnesota's playing, Wisconsin's playing, Michigan's playing, Northwestern's playing, any of those schools up in the north of the Big Ten, you're likely to get some rain, probably a lot of sprinkles here and there. It's fairly cloudy. There's no serious rain expected. Again, probably pockets. And again, over the northeastern coast of the United States, so anywhere down from basically Syracuse, New York, probably touching Erie, Pennsylvania, Boston College, anywhere around there. It's mostly going to be rain. We're still early in the season, and it's relatively going to be dry up until October, when hurricane season starts to really kick off in the Gulf. So be excited for that.
That's what you want to hear when my honeymoon's in October.
Oh, sorry.
It's the tail end for the southern part of the Gulf.
Yeah, that is true.
So we don't gotta worry about it. But there's Ciarnan's weather report, a little late, but we went 6 for 6. Let's keep the hot streak going, Ciarnan.
Yeah.
And move on to our mid teams.
Yes.
I'm going to go first this week because, my God, Ciarnan, I think I'm bad luck for these programs. I picked Kent State last year after they went 1-11 the year before, going, well, they can't get much worse. Yes, they could. They could not win a game for over a year, and they finally did it after I stopped rooting for them. And now you have the UMass Minutemen, who played the Bryant Bulldogs, who are FCS this week. They were up 20-10 at halftime and proceeded to lose 27-26. It was just a bad showing by all involved. Grant Jordan threw for 205 yards and 1 interception. Leading rusher, 11 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown. Leading receiver, Gibson, again, 7 receptions, 89 yards. They had 1 sack, which was a positive, 9 tackles by Martin, their linebacker. They gave up 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks to Brennan Meyer, Bryant's quarterback. Grant Jordan needs to go.
Oof.
He did go 2 for 2 for 6 yards against Temple, but to go 13 for 22 with 205 yards and a pick against Bryant is inexcusable. It's terrible. I hate it here, and it's absolutely disgusting.
Well, don't feel too bad, Kev, because unlike my UNLV, what are they, Red Raiders, last year, who were firing on all cylinders. I keep messing up my analogies here. The West Virginia Mountaineers did not play as well. Basically, if you take every metric that is kind of analyzed by ESPN, so passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, sacks, and things like that, the Mountaineers got half of what Ohio did last week. So 247 for Navarro, 178 for Markiel, I think I was pronounced his last name, 87 rushing yards for, again, Navarro, QB, 40 rushing yards for White, the West Virginia running back, which is insane that your quarterback on the opposing side is running for more than your running back, your main running back. That's nuts. Again, receiving yards, Hendricks for Ohio, 121, Bray for Mountaineers, 69. Nice. And the list just continues. So it was not a great week. West Virginia was really slow. They did get a touchdown in the first quarter, but after that, only a field goal in the third. Really appalling offense, frankly, on both sides in the second quarter, because only 3 points were scored, and that was that one Mountaineers field goal. But other than that, rough loss, but it's okay. We've got Pitt coming up. My pick this week is West Virginia over Pitt, so hopefully we can double down and get a win, and my pick is correct. So let's go Mountaineers.
That's true. Also, Ciarnan, I would like to. I can't talk shit with UMass's performance, but Parker Navarro did not just outrun your leading rusher. He outran your whole team. West Virginia had 72 yards of the ground. Parker Navarro with 87, as you said. Timmy Chalamet, man knows some talent at quarterback.
Man knows
apparently.
ball.
Ever since he said that, Parker Navarro's been on a heater.
I wanted to hate Timothy Chalamet for what I was like, oh God, a useless celeb that knows nothing about college football. All of his crap is rehearsed. And I would like to issue a formal apology. Timothy Chalamet knows ball. I am very sorry, sir. I think you're you're a great actor, and clearly you know your stuff.
There was I can't find it. I'm looking quickly.
Mm-hmm.
There was an obscure Knicks draft pick who was spotted at, I think, Grand Central or something. And Timothy Chalamet, as a young child, went there to get his picture taken with him. Timothy Chalamet loves sports and knows ball, and it's incredible.
That's awesome.
But, Ciarnan, I mentioned Parker Navarro being on a heater. So is Timothy Chalamet, in all honesty. Non-Power 5, not even Power 5, non-FBS schools are putting out some heat for their jerseys this week. We're going to go through two of them real quick. Idaho, hot off of the Fighting Taters helmets. They now have their 1975 throwback jerseys they're wearing this week.
Yo,
incredible.
Those are nice.
Incredible. We're just going to stay on their Twitter because there's one thing I want to try to see if they showed off on the uniforms, and that's the throwback Big Sky patch.
Oh, that's clean. Oh, I really like that.
That is an incredible uniform. They also, to show it off or to announce it, they put them in the old GMC.
Nice.
It's a beautiful jersey.
Oh, that's so clean. We should have made them one of our bets this week.
We really should have. I should have brought this up earlier, but that's incredible. And Ciarnan, I have a question for you.
Yo.
Am I about to buy an Idaho football jersey?
Sounds like it, certainly.
I might have to. Only that one, though. Also, Tulane, for their NIL, put out 2005 for Hurricane Katrina relief jerseys, and they're nice too. But I think I'm glad I held off on that because I might have to get an Idaho, one of the Idaho ones from 75. Those ones are fire. And also, Ciarnan, you have the Mines, Colorado School of the Mines football with a new helmet stripe that, according to them, is not just a stripe. We're going to play their Twitter announcement video real quick because that is also heat. Holding a stick of dynamite. I don't care about that part. It's incredible.
It really is. It's that I love that. That's like it's really tapping into like the kind of the heritage of the school and all that. And that's that is the type of stuff that we love to see as college football fans. It's kind of owning a little piece of the history and things like that. Like that's what makes it so much better.
It's incredible. And that's one of the things I'm sure we are annoying to some people talking about it all the time. But it's one of the things why we don't want college football and why a lot of people don't want it to become NFL light. We talk about the regionality of it all the time, but it's one of those things. College football is weird. It's a little silly, and they have fun with it. Right. And that's just something that we need to keep moving towards this corporatized version of it, making it sanitized like the NFL. It's losing a bit of that every year, and we hate it. And I'm just glad that the Colorado School of the Mines decided to keep some of that magic alive with their special helmets. Now, I'm also looking for an Idaho jersey currently. I'll do that after the show. Don't worry. My wife's not here. She's visiting a friend. She's not here to stop me. She would 100% go, Kevin, it's your money. Do what you want with it.
Honey, what is this $75 on our joint card? Actually, probably
God,
$125.
Her dad gave me $100 for my birthday.
Perfect. There you go.
So thanks for the Idaho football jersey. I would 100% show up to his house with it.
Do that, dude.
Like,
that'd be
I got
hilarious.
this with the money you gave me for my birthday.
Yes, do that. Oh my God, please do that. And send me a picture if you do. That's hilarious.
They only have fighting. Also, Ciarnan, I think small schools might be the move for clothing.
Are they just all fire?
They're cheap.
Oh.
Like a Fightin' Taters t-shirt is $22, which is cheap for a t-shirt now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find Vandal Tartan. They have their own tartan.
Yo, what? No, can you put that on the screen real quick? I know we're at the end of the episode. Put it on the screen real quick.
It's not.
I don't care. I want to
It's
see
not
it.
like a. Okay. I mean, you can probably guess what it is.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I want to see it.
Check out the YouTube if you're listening to the podcast to see what we're looking at.
No, I don't care. That's cool as hell.
Oh, it is.
But I know what you mean. It's like it's not quite a tartan. It's more like a plaid scarf. But yes, the purpose.
Yeah, it's not a kilt, is what I was saying. Though.
Yeah.
Oh, the ornament's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good. Are we becoming Iowa Vandal fans?
I think we might be. I want to go to Iowa just to
Idaho. I said Iowa by mistake.
Oh God, no, we're not. No, we're. Who makes their jerseys? Are they an Under Armour school? No. Cool. All right, I'm gonna spend the rest of my night. Look, the show's gonna be late tomorrow because I'm looking for a jersey.
Priorities,
Tees, tops, and tanks. Maybe it's under that. Okay. So they have some that are $85, but they're just the jerseys. Oh, they're in a. I don't even know. Jog Sports. I don't even know. I'm finding one of these jerseys, Ciarnan.
Nice.
Okay, are they a Nike school? They have like 4 different like manufacturers of clothing. They have Under Armour, they have Nike, Jog Sports, whatever that is. I'm so confused. But anyway, everyone have a good. Oh, we didn't even talk about Cade McNamara. He's still playing college, by the way.
All right. Yeah.
Because I said last week, because you're like, oh, is Cade McNamara still out? I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. He transferred like 3 years ago. Yeah, he's still playing. You said East Tennessee State.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought. I got it wrong when I said Iowa or whatever I said.
Well, I just thought, all right, the man's 30.
Yeah.
So there's no way he's still playing college sports. And apparently he is. Redshirt senior. That is underselling it. Redshirt. No, he's a redshirt geriatric.
Yes.
Hang him up, Cade.
Yeah, seriously.
Why are you so scared of actually the job market's terrible right now? I would stay in college as long as possible.
Right. That's wild.
We should try to get Cade McNamara on the show.
Worst thing you could say is no. Anyway.
No, the worst thing you could say is I only do paid interview.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Throwback Thursday to the coach who said that to us. Love it. Everyone, have a good, safe, fun rest of your week. Have a good weekend. Don't drink too much. And if you do not get behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. Thank you for listening. Check out Belly Up Sports. Check out @QuadTailgate on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And we'll see y'all next week.
See ya.
They're eating the dogs, Ciarnan, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
you know
dogs.
that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years, and just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to this school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan.